Where were most of the mudflood survivors really all go? Erased from history? No one talks about them. Not in schools. Not in museums. Not in history books. But if the mudflood was real, then one scary question lingers. Where did the survivors go? Because people do not simply disappear. Unless someone made sure they did. The cities that shouldn't be. Throughout the world, there are cities teeming with impossible architecture. Massive stone buildings. Great, too advanced cathedrals, not for their time. Underground floors buried under the paving of streets. And yet the official history says, oh, that was just construction. But construction isn't why whole first floors are buried. Construction doesn't explain why windows need to be buried. Construction doesn't explain why thousands of buildings feel like they were dug out. Like the world was enshrouded in something. Mud. The mudflood theory. The mudflood theory claims that within the last few hundred years, a global catastrophe occurred. A great flood of mud, rubble, not water. Mud. It swallowed cities, buried civilizations, reset the world, and then history restarted. But here's the problem. If whole cities were buried, people must have survived. So, where did they go? The missing millions. Look at old photos from the 1800s. Huge cities, empty streets, no crowds. You are trained on things that look like monumentality. But where are the people? Other scientists believe the mudflood wiped out most of mankind, but not all. Some survived. And that's the part that no one wants to talk about. Because survivors mean witnesses. Witnesses mean truth. And truth is dangerous. Orphan trains. The children with no past. Something strange took place in America between 1850 and 1930. More than 200,000 children were placed on trains and sent to different families. They were called orphans. But many had no records, no names, no history, just children. Some theorists think these weren't orphans at all. They were survivors. Children taken from destroyed cities. Children whose parents had been taken from them. Or worse, children whose history had to be scrubbed clean because they arrived in a world that wasn't supposed to be. The asylums and institutions. Now, consider another weird detail. During the late 1800s, huge insane asylums were created. Huge structures. Thousands of beds. Why? Officially, mental illness. But conspiracy researchers ask, why did we need space to hold so many at once? If these buildings weren't hospitals at all, what if they were containment buildings? For survivors. For people reminiscing on the old world. For people who kept saying, this isn't how it was. And, in a reset society, remembering is a crime. The rewriting of identity. After a catastrophe, the easiest thing to do to control survivors is simple. Give them new names, new families, new stories. Destroy the records, burn archives, rewrite history, and suddenly, the survivors become nothing. A generation to follow grows up believing the official timeline, never raising their voices about the covered streets at their feet, never inquiring why the world seems older than it should. The vanishing technology. Mudflood theorists also argue that the old civilization was advanced. Free energy, impossible engineering. Buildings that appear engineered for something we can no longer comprehend. So what happened? If survivors existed, they could also have known too much. They might have known how it worked. And knowledge is power. So, those people had to vanish, or be silenced, or be absorbed into the new system. The world reset. Imagine surviving the mudflood. Your city is buried, your family is gone, soldiers arrive, officials arrive. They tell you, this is a new beginning. They take the children, they relocate adults, they destroy evidence. And then, history starts again. New textbooks, new rulers, new dates, a new story. And the survivors? They are scattered, broken, erased. Why we never hear about them? Because the winners write history. And if the mud flood was real, then modern civilization is erected on top of something else. Literally. On buried streets, on hidden floors, on a forgotten world, the survivors were inconvenient, indefinite evidence that there was a different past to what we were told. So, they got absorbed into society, or removed. The final question: where did they really go? Re-educated? Institutionalized? Did they turn into the orphans of history? Or are their descendants still here, living normal lives, without any idea that they are descended from a lost civilization? And the most terrifying possibility of all: what if Mudflood wasn't the only reset? What if history has been scrubbed clean more than once? Because if it happened before, it can happen again. And next time, we might be the survivors. Or we might be the ones erased. So what I can, if you want,